Hi Flosstube, this is Jordan the Tattooed Stitcher. I'm back for another cross stitching update. This is Flosstube number 37 and I'm back a week later. I've been enjoying the weekly videos. I feel like I can remember more the week to be able to replay it accurately and not forget too many things and then erase it from my brain to move on for the next week. So I'm going to continue doing them and see just how it goes. I'm so sorry to disappoint. I feel like such a failure for this video. I have no finishes and no fully finishes to show you today. I feel like I showed so many in the last 3 or so videos and now I have nothing and I'm a loser failure, but hopefully you'll forgive me. I do have a few WIPs to show and no new starts. So this will probably be a little bit shorter of a video than normal, but that's okay. So we're gonna just start with my WIPs that I worked on over the last week in no particular order. So the first WIP that I'm gonna show you is my Sunday stitch, which is Consider the Lilies. I am stitching this on 40 count XG Designs Baby Sheep with the Vicki Clayton silk conversion. So what I worked on since you saw it last was I finished, or I didn't finish because there's still another purple flower on this side. It's just on another page. So I finished on the current page this purple flower here and I did this little motif and then I extended the border and finished this border flower and started on this border flower. And the reason there's not a ton done on this is, so across here is the words that go through the middle of the pattern. So right here is the middle, I believe, or right here's the middle. One of these is the middle. And the words go right across the top here all the way through. And so I was looking at the color that was called for in my Vicki Clayton conversion, and it was this really bright green. But on the pattern, the called for color is Classic Colorworks English Ivy. And my skein of English Ivy is really dark, like really, really dark. And this is really bright. So I just wasn't convinced that I wanted that color to be the words. I felt like I liked the words being darker, like on the cover photo. So I messaged Vicki and asked her about a substitution, and you guys, her customer service is fantastic. I can't recommend her enough. She responded, it was a Sunday, and she responded almost immediately. I hadn't even closed out the chat and she had responded already. And so she told me just pick, she matches to her, what her skeins are. And she showed me a picture of her skein of English Ivy and it is way lighter than my skein is. And it's just variations in dye lots. And my skein could be old, I'm not sure. So she told me just pick a DMC color that I wanted it to be close to and she would give me some options. And so I chose DMC 934, which is a really, really dark green. And she gave me a bunch of options for subs and she immediately the next day sent it out in the mail. So, I mean, just fabulous, fabulous customer service. She's so kind and extremely quickly responsive. So I encourage you to try her silks if you haven't. They're the most affordable silks I've ever seen and they're gorgeous. So that being said, I didn't go any farther because I was just kind of like bummed out that I couldn't do the words on that page. So I put it away and I was like, I'll get to it next Sunday when my new color comes in the mail. So the other WIP that I worked on is my Blackbird Designs Birds of a Feather. I'm stitching this with Bernadette Burn Stitches. We started it at Stitch West this past April. And we are stitching it with the Vicki Clayton silks that she gave me for Christmas. Oh, they're beautiful. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Lakeside Linens Vintage Pecan Butter. Oh geez. And this is where I am on this one. So I worked on filling in all of these tiny little doodads off the border on this side. It was kind of annoying. There's like, I don't know if you can see, but there is like 15 colors just in these little doodads, and like 2 stitches, 2 stitches, 3 stitches, 4 stitches, 5 stitches, 2 stitches. Like, it was a little irritating and took a lot of time. It felt like I was stitching on this for a whole day and making no progress because I was just doing onesies and twosies stitches on this border. So I was alternating filling in those little stitches with, I filled in these leaves here. I did this little thing there. I did these alphabets and this border here. And then I did this whole lollipop flower here and this little bird. And this bird is stitched in the most gorgeous red silk. And the red silk is called Tart's Knickers. And I just think it's so funny. But it's just beautiful. Ugh. I'm loving the way this is coming out. It's just such an enjoyable stitch, other than this, other than these little ninja stitches. But I'm loving it. I'm loving this project. Okay. Then another whip that I worked on is a sal that I am stitching with Rosanna Nesta Petals and Rocio Kokahana Stitchery. We are stitching the Scenic sampler from Heartstring Samplery. And I'm stitching this with some of the called for, but mostly colors that I pulled and converted from my stash. And I'm stitching this on 46 count Little Bunny from X Jude Designs. It's a big piece of fabric. Okay, and I think I stitched on this for 2 days. So this is where I am. So what I did, I was about here, I think. Maybe here? No, I was right here. So I added all these flowers, and this is the top. Right here is the top. So it curves around right here. So this is the flower that is the first flower that goes across this way. So I've officially gone from bottom all the way to top on one side. And I outlined this basket twice because the first time I messed up and it was too small. And then I finished doing this house, all the mortar in this house. So this color is Weeks Direx Charcoal, and I finished all of it in the house. And that took some time. That's a lot of stitching. Like, it's on 46 count, so it doesn't look so bad, but like, this thing is a beast. It is a huge, huge pattern. These flowers and vines are so intricate. They take me a really long time, it feels like, to get just like one vine and flower section done. It takes forever, it feels like. But it is beautiful, and I love the fabric it's on. So I'm really happy with that progress. Okay, another whip I worked on actually just yesterday was Blackbird Designs Feast of Friendship. I'm stitching this on 36 count earthen from Picture This Plus with a mixture of called fors and floss from my stash. So what is new is I finished the roof. I finished this whole border. I didn't have any of it. And I filled in this massive gourd, this huge old pumpkin. I finished filling that in, and then I started on the house. So I brought the outline house down and worked across, and then I started filling in. So the house is charted in multiple blue and gray sections. So that's why I'm just like, it looks weird when you're outlining these little pieces, but they're all different. So I thought I would just go through and put the windows in and the door and outline all the different sections, and then I can be done with the pattern all together and just have it be an easy fill in. I'm in need of a project that's just like, I don't need paper, I don't need a pattern or my iPad or anything. It's just fill in for when I'm stitching downstairs with the kids or outside. So I'm hoping to get all this finished, blocked out, and get to that point where it's just an easy on the go ordeal. But I love the way that side border turned out. It's beautiful. So hoping to have this one done definitely by the end of the summer. I want to clear it away for new fall starts when it comes to be fall time. Okay, and another WIP I worked on, I don't have a physical pattern of, is, oh no, what happened to you? Right here. Is the Blue Flower Seasons of the Heart, there we go, Spring. I started this a few weeks ago, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Grace Notes. I never remember what this one is called. It was a fabric club. It's called Heather on the Hill. I was saying it way wrong, but it's a really pretty blue color. And I'm stitching this with, so the called for threads are DMC, and I'm stitching this with overdyed fancy floss from my stash. So last time you saw it, there was just a little bunny butt here and a little border. So I've added all the flowers and the green vines that you see, and this is a big, heart. So I've added the edge of that, and I've reached the very top. So that's the very top of it. And I finished this bunny, and I did its little baby. I love working on this. It is deceiving how large it actually is. It doesn't look large in my hoop, but when you're stitching it, like, it's kind of a lot of stitching. And I was expecting it to feel smaller, but it's not. It's okay. It's definitely not going to be pillow size. This one's going to be a frame size, but I'm fine with that. Framing is easier to do than pillows, in my opinion. So there's that one. I have a frog in my throat or something today. Okay, and then my last WIP is Stacy Nash Spring Chickens Pin Keep. And I'm stitching this on 46 count XG Designs Latte with all of the called for colors. And so the last time you saw it, I had just had a chicken's belly, and I realized I'd messed up. So I had to rip all of that out and restitch it. And so I finished that chicken, and it's amazing. Every time I see this chicken, I'm just like, it's like art. It's so beautiful. The way that she used the colors in this and the little speckles, and it just looks so realistic. I don't know. I love it so much. This fat little chicken. And I need to go upwards. This is the grass for the fence. So there's a fence right above here and a basket full of eggs up top. And I need to get up there so I can start the fence and the little coop and come down and work on this other fat brown chicken that's right there. I love it. I'm avoiding the border. As you can see, I have done nothing more with the border because I wanted to do that chicken. I love it. So there's that one. And that's all my WIPs. So I thought I'd go into a little bit of plans. Okay. Plans. I'm going to continue blocking out the house in Feast of Friendship to get it to a point where it's just fill-in. I also want to pull out my Pink Sparrow sampler from With Thy Needle and Thread. 'Tis the Season, and I'll show you where I am on that as a reminder. I'm stitching this on 40 count color and cotton raw muslin. And this is where it currently is. So I'd like to get back to that. Add some more of those border flowers for sure. And finish that pot on the bottom, and maybe, I don't know, it has a lot of border flowers. I really should stick to doing more of those. And I'm stitching this with all of the called for colors. Get in there. Another plan, a possible new start I'd like to do this month is my only patriotic stitch planned. Oh geez, come on out. And that is Home Sweet Home from With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm stitching this on 32 count with 1 strand over 2 fabric threads. And this chart has a lot of DMC in it. And I thought, like, these berries, they're all charted in DMC, and the DMC is fine, but I have 1,000 overdyed red colors that I would love to use. So I converted all of the DMC, the called for DMCs. So there's some called for overdyes and some called for DMCs, and I converted all the DMCs to overdyes. So it's fully converted into overdyes, except I think maybe 1 color. I just didn't see the purpose. It was like 5 stitches. But this is the fabric. It's the same fabric I stitched 'Tis Spring on. And these are my colors. I don't think I wrote down on this paper what I changed them to. It's all on my phone. What is that? Oh, I've got some of my new color and cottons on here to use, which is really exciting. I've got Seahorse and Tomato Leaves and Dutch Tulip. I think this is one of the strawberry colors, or maybe it's this one. I don't know which one it is. So Dutch Tulip, Golden Gate, Old Brick, Begonia, Birdhouse, and this is another new color in cotton, Cider. Ah, they're so pretty. I can't wait to use them. And one thing I learned from these charts is if they use like no thread. So Bernadette let me borrow her 'Tis Spring chart with all the flosses because she bought it kitted up, fully kitted up with finishing stuff and everything. She's finished hers with the finishing things, but she let me use the chart and the threads. And when I was done with the threads, like, you can stitch that chart 15 times and not run out of thread. That's how little thread it uses if you're using 1 strand. So something kind of interesting. And then another possible start for this month, because it's a borrowed chart. I don't like to hang on to borrowed charts for too long. So another possible start this month is Blackbird Designs Moon Garden. I'm borrowing this chart from my friend Amy, X Stitching and Adventures. She just finished hers, and she finished hers a little bit ago, but she just fully finished it in a frame, and it's gorgeous. And so the called for fabric for this is 28 count 18th century Rook from R&R Reproductions. And I do not want to stitch on 28 count with 2 strands. So I went on to one of my favorite Etsy shops ever, Hollis Hands Creates, and I got a piece of 36 count 18th century Rook. I've never stitched on R&R before, but this fabric is gorgeous. I think this is the called for fabric for Halloween at Hollyberry Farm from Stacy Nash, which, like, it would have been gorgeous on this fabric. So I got, it doesn't require a big piece, so I just got an 1/8 cut. And I've got some of the called fors, mostly the called fors. So these are all the called for colors right here. And then this is one I pulled from my stash. That's supposed to be Highland. It's supposed to be Gentle Art Highland Heather. I didn't have it, and I have a million purples, so I didn't see the need to get it. But these are the ones I had a hard time matching, especially this cameo pink. This was, I had already, this green one. So I had to get these two yellows, which look so similar that it's annoying. I might swap one. So this is what that will look like on that fabric. So I'm really excited to start this one because it is going to go in my bedroom next to my Liz Matthews that I just framed. So those are my only potential plans that might come up in the next week. We'll see. I'm kind of in this weird, I don't know what to stitch on because I want to stitch on everything. And I don't necessarily want to start a bunch of new things. I just love all of my WIPs. And there's not enough time. There's not enough time. So now I do have a little bit of haul. Okay. So Stacy from Thread the Needle Stitchery, she sent out an email saying that her entire shop was 40% off because she was moving from Florida to Tennessee and she wanted to kind of make her move a bit easier with less things. So I took advantage of getting 40% off and got a few charts. I missed out on one chart because it went fast, 40% off, and I just wasn't fast enough. So the charts I got from her are Fox and Rabbit, Dreaming of Daisies. This was a market release this year. And it's called for, the called for threads are all color and cotton, which I think is really cool. I wish more charts would start doing that because their threads are fantastic. So I've got that one. I got the I Love More Strong book from Blackbird Designs. This was also a market release this year. The other one I didn't get was Glad Moments of Grace and something spring. Something of spring. I don't remember. This was the only one that was left, and I did want this one, so it's so pretty. So I got that one, and then I also got Two by Julia by Shakespeare's Peddler. That house with those giant flowers above the giant house, and the border is like these little radishes. It's so cute. And then this one's kind of weird. I don't know about that man in the middle. What is he? Just some, he's got an interesting hat on. Chef. But I loved this house. Loved it. So that's all I got from her. And then I got my Grace Notes Fabric Club 40 count linen, and this May's Fabric Club was called Coconut Milk. It is gorgeous. So I had to pause my fabric club with Grace Notes because of some personal things, but so I had to pause this, and then this came in the mail like the day after I paused it, and I was like, no, it's so good. It's so good. I'm coming back. I am coming back. Probably the end of summer. I will be back in the Grace Notes Club. Okay, and then I'm going to show a picture. So, I have had this thing with butterflies lately. I want to stitch butterflies or moths or, you know, one of them. And the one that has been on my brain is the Artsy Housewife, A Study in Nature. And I just love it. It's huge. It's beautiful. I want it in my bedroom. So it's called for in Dinky Dyes, I think. And I decided that I was going to get the Vicki Clayton silks for it. And they are just beautiful. I don't want to open this little package, but they are gorgeous. I cannot wait to use them. I won't be stitching it on red. I think it's very pretty on the red, but it's just not my vibe. So I'm going to stitch it on the leftover piece I had from Winter Rose Manor, this like undertone reds and pinks, brown. I think on the brown with these silks, it's gonna be exactly what I'm imagining. I'm really, really excited. I don't think I will start it until my birthday, or yeah, probably then. We'll see how long I can hold out starting it, actually. Okay, and then I managed to get some lakeside linens with the help from a friend, and I got 46 count lakeside linen in vintage maritime white. This looks almost exactly, do you see that? This looks almost exactly like coconut milk. Look at that. It's barely different. Coconut milk is like slightly whiter, but that's very similar. Like looking at them in real life, they're not that different. Vintage maritime white is slightly dingier, is all. So I got it in 46 count, and I'm thinking I would use it for my Moira Blackburn pattern, the Three Things sampler, because those colors are so bright. I think it would just look really nice on a white color. And then I also got the same vintage maritime white in a 40 count. So I have it in a 40 and a 46. And then I also got lakeside linen bisque in a 40 count, which is another, this is more bright white. I think it's got less modeling. Yeah, it's very subtle, almost hard to see on the camera. Bisque. I like being able to collect these lakeside linens. They're so hard to find. It's irritating. So when you find them, you just gotta snatch them. Okay, then I was ordering some quilting fabric from the Fat Quarter Shop and just browsed their Memorial Day, what things are on sale today section. And they had a handful of Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colorworks, and Color and Cotton threads for $1.50 a skein. And that's really good. So I just was like, okay, I don't need these specifically for anything, but $1.50 a skein isn't bad. So I got Weeks Dye Works Basil. It's like a purpley greenish color. I got Weeks Dye Works Banana Pudding. I think this is a newer color for them. Weeks Dye Works Julian, funky color. And Weeks Dye Works Cappuccino. Classic Colorworks Snips and Snails. It's like got pinky purple and yellow in it. Classic Colorworks Old Oak Tree. It's really pretty. Color and Cotton Light Coral. And Color and Cotton Fawn. It's like a grayish, purplyish. So yeah, just for stash, it's a good price. And then I got a pack of their size 28 needles to try. I haven't tried one yet. The eyes look a little rough, so I don't know. That's probably why I haven't tried them yet, because the eyes just are looking a little rough. But I will try them. I will let you know. And that is all I have for stitching today. I will go into some life and my shows, of course. So I am single parenting it this week. My husband is working out of the state until the end of the week. So I mean, that's been fine, but it is the first week of summer. So it's been a lot of children all day long. It's fine. They're really happy to be done with school. But they are so our school every summer does a summer program. It's the month of June, 3 days a week. They go to the school and they do like just a bunch of activities. And they started that today. I asked them if they wanted to go this year, and they really wanted to. They have so much fun every summer doing it. So they do like 2 weeks of a field of study and then they swap. So I think the first few days my daughter's doing like music stuff, and my son learned how to do claymation today. So it's just a bunch of random like activities. I think last year they learned how to do 3D printing. Our school has a huge greenhouse, so they go and they plant stuff in the greenhouse, and they just have a bunch of activities and things for the kids to do. And then on the last day they do like water day. So they have this humongous bubble machine. Like, it's huge. It makes bubbles. The bubbles are like 6 feet high. They get really tall. And then a fire truck comes and like sprays water everywhere. Like, it's just fun. So they started that, and they'll keep doing that just through June. Been trying to think of things we could do in the summer, just because I feel like I hate when they're on screens a lot, but like, you know, I need a break. So we're gonna do like every afternoon we'll go to the dollar store that's like 5 feet from my house and pick out a treat, and we'll do like a movie in the afternoon. I want to introduce them to movies they haven't seen yet, like kids movies, and I'm having a hard time thinking of a lot of them. So if you have any suggestions, we've seen basically every Disney movie, but like I was thinking of like Fern Gully the other day, which, by the way, childhood trauma alert. Do I want to traumatize my children? That movie traumatized me. And like All Dogs Go to Heaven, you know, just like random movies. Just give me some kids movies. So we're gonna do that on Wednesdays, I think. So I'll be stitching downstairs, which is another reason for wanting a project that's just fill in. I'll be downstairs, and I don't have all of my things next to me. We have a lake, a local lake to us. So we're gonna buy a lake pass this year. Try to go to the lake a few times a month. Get some water days in. And then I've just been making bags. I'm making some more bags. Thank you to everyone who bought a bag on my last update. And I'm planning to do another bag update on my Instagram next week. So in my next week's video, I'll show them the bags that I'll be putting up. And I've just been loving making them. It feeds my love of shopping for quilting fabric and actually using it up. So I'm having a really good time. I love picking out fabrics and putting them together. So, shows. We finished 1923. I think I said that maybe in the last video, but I don't remember. Finished 1923. There's supposed to be another season. I don't know when though. It definitely ended on a cliffhanger. I finished Poldark, and I was depressed for like a whole day after. I hate finishing shows that I love so much. I feel like I'm just like paralyzed now. What do I do? How do I go on? And Poldark is just so good. It's so good. So I finished that. We watched this new Netflix show called Eric. It's got Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's the only like name I know from that show. Based in the 80s in New York, a boy goes missing, and so it's just kind of following his parents. I don't know about it. When you see the preview, you expect it to be a certain way, but it's not, and I did not like the way they went with it. I thought it was very anticlimactic. Like you're building up, and then it's like just to be let down. Like, oh, this is a bit disappointing. This is the direction they went. So I don't know that I'd recommend that one. I started another new one on Netflix yesterday called Geek Girl. It's cute. I'm liking it so far. It's a cute show. It's like a fluffy high school drama type television show. It's cute. I started Criminal Minds because of Sarah, Memphis Sarah E. She's all sucked into Criminal Minds right now, and I've never seen it. So I started it. I think I'm 3 episodes in, and it reminds me so much of Bones that it's making me miss Bones. I love Bones. It's making me miss Agent Seeley Booth. But I'm gonna keep going because there's 16 seasons of this show. 16. That's just offensive. I could watch that forever. So it's not a marathoner show. It's not a I'm binging all these seasons at once show. It's kind of like House. Like when I don't know what to watch, I put House on because I don't necessarily need to pay attention to every detail, but I can kind of figure out what's going on. So I have a feeling it's like that. I watched a movie yesterday called Where the Crawdads Sing. It is based off a book. I don't know if the book is true or not. I haven't read the book. I own it though. It's literally right there. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I don't know if it's real, but the movie was on Hulu, and I had heard that the movie and book is good. I just had never read them or watched it, and it was so good. It was so good. I want to read the book now for sure, but the movie was just fantastic. Just about a girl living down in the bayou, in the marshes, and I mean, it's sad. It's sad, but like happy at the same time. I don't know. It was all the emotions. All the emotions. It was just so great. It was such a good movie. Highly, highly recommend. It's one of those movies that I will watch many times because it was just fantastic. I thought it was great. I don't know who any of the actors or the actress was in it. I never heard of them, but they were fantastic. I thought they were just so good. So highly, highly recommend that movie if you haven't seen it and you are feeling like having your emotional strings pulled. So that is all I have to show today. I hope that you liked all my whips and my plans, and check out some of these shows that I watched, and I hope to catch you back in my next video next week. Thanks. Bye.